गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनउँ रघुबर बिमल जसु, जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवारि सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराजु सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा बिराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबेको आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि संभाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिग पाल जहाते, कभी कोबिद कहि सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपत दीन्हा। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुमरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुमरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से ही सर्ब सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ करे कोई, छूटहि बंधि महासुख होय। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होवे सिद्ध साकी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तने संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान। Over here in Hanuman Chalisa, just now while reading, this particular verse caught my attention. तुमरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंतकाल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। तुमरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। When we rever the Lord, right? Hanumanji is Bhakti Avatar with a lot of bhakti. All the taap, all the shok, all the grief and the sorrow which we have been carrying with us, birth after birth, disappears. Birth after birth disappears. It is a very big statement over here. तुमरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। तो हनुमान जी के भजन हमें राम जी से मिला देते हैं, और जब राम जी मिल जाते हैं तो जन्म जन्म के दुख क्षीण हो जाते हैं, खत्म हो जाते हैं। What does that mean? It means that when we get to see the Lord, right, God, which is Anand Swarup, how can sorrow and agony remain? And if sorrow and agony is there, then what happens? If sorrow and agony is there, then there cannot be God. That means we have not known that divine bliss yet. And this is exactly what we are learning right now in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Shri Krishna is trying to remove the sorrow, right, that has developed in Arjun's heart. It is sorrow, he is becoming a coward, he is becoming deluded. And Shri Krishna is trying to explain in different ways and trying to tell him that जो ज्ञानी होता है, जो पंडित होता है, जो धीर पुरुष होता है, जो तत्वदर्शी होता है, which we learn in this verse, वो शोक नहीं करता. Shok. There is no grief in his heart. There is no sorrow. Now, does that mean that there will not be any troublesome situation or pratikul situations or disasters in his life? No. Nowhere in our scriptures that kind of a commitment has been made. कहीं नहीं. अगर हम ये सोच रहे हैं तो हम गलत सोच रहे हैं. हमारी सोच का ये भ्रम है कि if you pray to God, nothing wrong can happen to you. Because whatever has to happen will continue to happen, right? Now, Arjun standing over here in the battlefield has to go and attack Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, his relatives, kith and kin. It is going to happen. Krishna being with him, standing with him in the chariot, is also not saying that I will make this adverse situation disappear. He could, right? श्री कृष्ण है, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. भगवान कुछ भी कर सकते थे, पर भगवान भी इन सब चीज़ों में विघ्न नहीं डालते. ये तो काल है, जो होना है होगा. इस पे वो कुछ भी नहीं करते हैं. He does not interfere at all. But at the same time, he is telling Arjun not to have sorrow or grief. How is it possible? When he is about to go into a battle with his own dear Bhishma Pitama and gurus and siblings, not siblings, cousins and everybody, how is it that there cannot be any grief and sorrow? That is what we say, right? In a good situation, it is happy to be happy, right? But in an adverse situation, when nothing is going your way, where probably your nearest and the dearest ones have been taken away from you, is it possible to remain grief-free? Grief-free, sorrow-free. Those extremes, joy and sorrow, free from both the extremes. Shok. That does not mean that if you are having no grief, you should be very happy. Not necessary. You can be neither happy nor sorrowful. And that is a Dhir Purush. Right? So over here, in the past verses, verse 11, verse 12, verse 13 and verse 14, 15, Shri Krishna has mentioned three kind of people. And later on, when we look at verse 16 today, three kind of people. Pandit, right? Not the Pandits we are talking about today. We have in verse 11 in great depth understood what is meant by Pandit, right? He is the knower of Sat. Now, what is Sat? We are going to try to understand in this verse, verse 16. So, Pandit, Dheer and Tattvadarshi, right? These three kind of people do not have any form of shok, grief or sorrow, no matter what the situation outside. They remain some. They remain very calm and composed. Over here, it is said that जो पंडित है या धीर है या तत्वदर्शी है, right, by Ram Suktas ji, is mentioning over here, असत को सत मान लेने से ही शोक होता है. This is relevant to the verse we are going to do today also. असत को सत मान लेने से ही शोक होता है, अर्थात ये शरीर आदि ऐसे ही बने रहे, मरे नहीं, इस बात को लेकर ही शोक होता है. राइट? सो व्हेन डज, और स्वयं सत स्वरूप है और बदलने वाला शरीर असत स्वरूप है, ये जान लेना ही हमारे को शोक रहित कर देता है. सो व्हेन यू बिलीव सत to be asat and asat to be sat, it becomes the mool cause, it becomes the root cause of our agonies and our sorrows. Right? And जो पंडित होते हैं या धीर पुरुष होते हैं, वो शोक ही नहीं करते. Not a chance. उनको किसी भी तरह का शोक नहीं होता. क्योंकि why? Again, the core definition is they know what is sat and they know what is asat. And there is this third thing called mithya. Sat, asat or mithya. Is mithya and asat equal to each other, or we can replace and use them? No, we can't. Sat, asat and mithya, these are three different, totally different things, which we are going to try to understand. But the understanding of sat, asat and mithya, right, is not very easy for anybody, right? And after understanding internalizing and implementing in our life and living it is also very difficult. Agreed. But saying that it is not impossible. Who, when, how will know Sat, Asat and Mithya and will be able to implement and get free from this samsar chakra? Nobody knows. Over here, Shri Krishna, as we mentioned before, is laying down the principles of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And later on, he's going to explain them further. That is why it is said, chapter 2 is actually all the Gyan put together. And the chapters later are an explanation or an expansion when Arjun wanted to understand further. Now, the second point I would like to bring is, first is, it takes a lifetime to understand this. If you understand this, implementing, internalizing and living it also, but it's not impossible. Second point is, we should always remember who Shri Krishna is talking to over here. Who is the Patra? Parth, right? Patra is the vessel in which the water or in which the Ganga of knowledge is being poured. It is Sri Arjun. What is Arjun also known as? Guda Keshen. Guda means a controller of his own sleeps. See, it is very, very difficult to control Nidra, sleep. Right? And that also, if we are sleep deprived or we oversleep, everything can become very hazy in our mind. But Arjun here was a controller of his sleep. In other words, Guda Keshen is one who has been able to control all his indriyas. Right? The Gyan Indri, the Karm Indri, everything is in his control. So, ऐसा नहीं है कि he has not done sadhana or tap. Right? He is that source who can understand what Sat and Asat is. Unless and until a child understands A, B, C, D, can he read? The basic alphabets one needs to know to read, right? So Arjun knows them. Again, a humble reminder, where is Bhagavad being narrated? Gita is being narrated in the middle of the battlefield, towards the very end of Mahabharat. So Mahabharat का ये एक part है Gita, right? So in that, a lot has been mentioned, a lot has been taught to us before reading or reaching Srimad Bhagavad Gita, right? So this is not a very simple scripture. No. This is the human manual, and there are certain preconditions to understand it. So Shri Krishna is saying Guda Keshen. So you, the controller of senses, right? You, the knower of it all, in a way. The one who has befriended Krishna. Krishna is his best friend. He has left everything for Krishna. Has he not? When he was given a choice, Arjun was given a choice between the Narayani Sena and Shri Krishna, he chose Krishna. Even now, in the worst of situations, he has not abandoned the Lord. He is still sitting there, still has faith, still wants to understand, still knows in his heart that God knows best. So these are the prerequisites of a person who will understand Gita. Baki to we can bring it down to our level, right? Anything can be interpreted as per our convenience. पर वो हमें नहीं करना है. We want to understand Gita the way it is being said, the way it means, the way Lord wanted us to understand it. Yes, it is a granth which will help us live in the material world at a spiritual level. Which will help us live in the material world at a spiritual level. Krishna clearly बोल रहे हैं कि you do not have to run away from the battlefield. Be where you are, isn't it? He's told Arjun, be where you are. You're not running away from the battlefield. तुम्हारा जो कर्म क्षेत्र है उसको छोड़ के आपको कहीं नहीं भागना है. किंतु इस कर्म क्षेत्र में आपको कैसे सब चीज़ों का सामना करना है, कैसे इस दुनिया में जीना है, वो आपको गीता सिखाती है. And this verse per se is like a bouncer for me. It is like, not only for me, Ram Sukhdas ji and Vivekanand ji and all, they have said that this verse is like the crux of our entire scriptural knowledge, be it Ved, Puran, Upanishads, everything. One line says it all. And why has he put this one line in the beginning of Gita? Right? We are just at the 16th verse and he is giving us the gist of the entire scriptures. How are we going to be able to understand it? Well, who is he narrating to? Shri Arjun. Arjun समझ जाएंगे, समझना चाहिए, हम भी समझ जाएंगे, because we are also Arjuns, isn't it? If we have been able to avail this human body, right? And if at this moment we are listening to the Gita, if at this moment we are jigyasus, right? We are mumukshus, then anything is possible. हम इतनी दूर तो पहुंच ही गए हैं ना. एंड ये आसान नहीं है. मनुष्य देह धारण करना, इस धर्म पे चलना, इस पवित्र भूमि में जन्म लेना, फिर गीता और शास्त्रों के प्रति जिज्ञासा होना, ये हमारे कहीं 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 जन्मों का फल है. एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी हैव टू बिलीव इन. एंड ये प्रभु की कृपा है. It is His kripa that we have this inclination to understand His song. Always remember, ये सुख साधन से नहीं होए, तुम्हारी कृपा पाए कोई कोई. Very few get this kripa of Lord. And hence, when we read this verse, and when we feel that no, नहीं समझ आया, we will keep walking on. Why? Because समझ आएगा. We have to keep walking and keep walking and keep walking. That is all that our scriptures ask for. Just keep walking with us. The path will become clear on its own. Just jump, take that leap of faith, and the net will appear. हमें चलते जाना है. And on a lighter note, do you know, when Ved Vyas Ji was writing, he needed somebody to write for him, isn't it? He was narrating, he needed somebody to write for him. So whom did he call? He called Ganpati Ji. So Ganpati Ji came, and Ganpati Ji said that I will write for you only on one condition. What was the condition? He said, I'll write for you only in the condition that you don't stop. Right? No matter what, the minute you stop, I disappear. I leave. This is it, I'll say, and I'll get up and go. So Ved Vyas Ji said, okay, fair enough. I will not stop. And at the same time, Ved Vyas Ji said, listen, Ganpati Ji, I also have a condition. Condition तो दोनों तरफ से होनी चाहिए. So Ved Vyas Ji said, I also have a condition. What is the condition? Ganpati Ji, you will not write anything before you understand it. Right? You will not write anything before you understand it. So मतलब आपको पहले समझना पड़ेगा, अपने मन में उतारना पड़ेगा, फिर आप कागज पे उतारेंगे उस बात को. Ganpati Ji said, fair enough. You should never write something which has not touched your heart about something, or you have not understood. So agreed. So both had this agreement. And Ved Vyas Ji started. Right? And Ved Vyas Ji kept on talking, kept on writing, and Ganpati Ji kept on writing. Right? Ganpati Ji was very fast in understanding everything. But beach mein, Ved Vyas Ji would suddenly talk about something so high. Right? He would throw a bouncer. And of course, it did not bounce off Ganpati Ji, but Ganpati Ji would take a while, a moment maybe, to understand and then write. And what would this do? This would give a breather to Ved Vyas Ji, because at that time Ganpati Ji would actually stop for a moment, right? To understand, assimilate, ponder, and then write, right? Internalize and then write. So this was a way where Ved Vyas ji could get a breather in the middle of his talk. Jokes apart, जब गणपति जी को ही बीच बीच में समझने में दिक्कत होने लगी तो हम तो कौन ही है, राइट? सो दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट वी हैव टू गेट डिसहार्टेंड और वी हैव टू से नहीं, चलते रहेंगे समझ आएगा. एंड दीज टू कंडीशंस आर वेरी ब्यूटिफुल. इट्स नॉट ओनली अ जोक और अ स्टोरी, नो. Ved Vyas ji was not supposed to stop. Why? Because the minute you stop, your focus is lost, right? You sway. ये माया कब आके पकड़ लेगी पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So at any point in time, our focus should not move away from the feet of my Lord, from the feet of our Lord. So that condition makes sense. And the other condition which Ved Vyas ji put, that you're not going to write till you understand, because the scriptures are not only to be read, they are to be understood, digested, assimilated, internalized, implemented and lived. And always remember, what comes from the heart goes to the heart. Ved Vyas ji, if he would have lost focus, or Ganpati ji, if he would have written anything without understanding, it would not have touched our hearts and changed our lives. सीधी सी बात है, जो चीज़ दिल से आएगी वही आपके दिल को छुएगी, नहीं तो नहीं छुएगी. And so, getting back to the joke, this is that bouncer verse where Ved Vyas ji suddenly lifted the level so high because he needed a breather, because if he stopped, Ganpati ji would vanish. But he needed to continue. He wanted Ganpati ji to be there. So he said, oh my God, I need a breather and let's throw a bouncer so that it takes a while for Ganpati to understand. And at that time I can get a rest, right? Before we continue. So if this was a bouncer for Ganpati ji, it can be a bouncer for us. I don't know about you, but yes, this verse is that kind of a verse which you can mull on for this life, for next life, for the lives after, and yet wonder कि ये क्या कह रही है. What is this verse? नासतो विद्यते भावो न भावो वेद्यते सतः. नासतो वेद्यते भावो न भावो वेद्यते सतः. उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्त स्तत्त्वज्ञो स्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्त स्तत्त्वज्ञो स्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. Wow. Now what is it saying? It says, of the unreal, there is no existence. Right? Of the unreal, there is no existence. And of the real, there is no non-existence. Of the unreal, there is no existence. And of the real, there is no non-existence. The final truth of both these is known by the men of wisdom. Again, what is it saying? आस्था असत का तो भाव, असत का तो भाव सत्ता. भाव मतलब एग्जिस्टेंस. ओके. असत का तो भाव विद्यमान नहीं है. What is asat? Now, I would not want to use real, unreal, truth, untruth, because it does not do justice to the meaning of the word. These words are so self-explanatory. They are so full of meaning that we should not translate them, right? And we'll try not to, maybe in the explanation, but we'll try to keep sat as sat, asat as asat, mithya as mithya. Right? So what are they saying? Now they are talking about asat first. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. So nasato vidyate bhavo. असत का तो भाव सत्ता विद्यमान नहीं है. राइट? और सत का अभाव विद्यमान नहीं है. तत्वदर्शी महापुरुष इन दोनों का ही तत्व देखा करते हैं और अनुभव किया करते हैं. उन लोगों ने इन सब का अनुभव किया है. What is it saying? The first verse, that is the verse which is very, very, very important, and probably this is the verse where we can do a manan or a chintan or a jap of. Nasato vidyate bhavo na bhavo vidyate satah. Nasato vidyate bhavo. What again? Of the unreal there is no existence. असत का तो भाव विद्यमान नहीं है. Then second is न भावो विद्यते सतः. Of the real there is no non-existence. आगे सत का अभाव विद्यमान नहीं है. तो what is this? What are they trying to say? They're just trying to say that sat, okay, not truth, not real. The sat chit anand bolte हैं ना हम. Sat is always there. It is never non-existent. It was there, it is there, it always will be there. Sat. It's not only truth or real. Sat is Sat. Sat is there, was there, will always be there. Sat is not changing. Sat remains the way it is. Sat is eternal, right? Sat is not momentary, like Asat. Now, what is Asat? Asat is not there. Now, Asat is not there. I'm not saying that Asat is temporary, moment. No, I'm saying Asat is not there. There is no existence of Asat. Asat was not there. Asat is not there. Asat will never be there. Asat has never been there. Now, how do we explain this? Let's take a very simple example. Sat ko nahi, Asat ko samajhte hain. Asat is, for example, when I tell you a rabbit with a horn, is it there? It's non-existent. It is Asat. Asat, rabbit with a horn, is Asat, isn't it? So, this simple example tells us Asat, which is not there, which is not existent. So, over here, this verse is saying, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. Simple. That which is Asat was never there, is never there, will never be there. It is always non-existent. And Sat is there, was there, will always exist. Now, again, suddenly I'm repeating, but let's take another example. Over here, I'll read out from Yoganandaji's Gita. The senses say that the flower that was never born has shed no fragrance. It is beautiful. Just listen to it, the way they have explained it. The senses say that the flower that was never born has shed no fragrance. Things that were never real have ever been non-existent. But the garden rose by its fragrance, the stars by their twinkle in the sky proclaim their reality. Right? The seers of truth, however, know them all to be equally unreal. For the rose will fade away, and many a distant star whose glimmers dots the heaven has long since ceased to be. Could something become nothing? And then he goes on to say, possessors of wisdom perceive as real only that which changes not. The essence that became the star and the idea of the flower in the poet's mind. The wise alone know the mystery of the real and the unreal. Sat or Asat. But again, over here they are talking about real and unreal. When they are saying that the flower existed, right? And when they are saying that the stars existed, they are not talking about Asat. What are they talking about? Mithya. Yes, Mithya. So again, a simple example of asat is a rabbit with horns. It's non-existent, isn't it? Simple. And what is sat? Brahma sat, jagat mithya. What they just now explained is mithya. और असत की चर्चा करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है because it is not existent. वो है ही नहीं. Right? Now what is mithya? मिथ्या क्या है? ब्रह्म सत, जगत मिथ्या. मिथ्या क्या है? For example, a mirage, right? When you're in the desert and you see an oasis which is not there, is mithya, right? Let's take it a step further. Let's try to understand what is mithya and what is not. Just imagine the potato is hot. Now, does the potato have its own heat? No, right? The potato was boiled in the boiling water. And where did the water get the heat from? Does the water have its own heat? No. The water was in a pan, right? Now, does the pan have its own heat? No. Pan was on the flame. Flame is hot. So, heat as the characteristics of the potato is mithya, right? Although we feel that the potato is hot, but that is not its own intrinsic nature. Water also, it's not its own intrinsic nature. Pan also not its own intrinsic nature. Fire, yes. So they derive their heat from the fire. So the seemingness of heat in a potato is mithya. Now, let's take another example. Mithya. In the dark, right? It's very stormy. It's dark. And the wind is blowing. And when you go to close the curtains, suddenly at a distance, you see a huge ghost-like figure standing. You get frightened and you run and sleep. Take it. Next day morning, when the storm has gone past and the weather is clear, the sun is out, you look out the same window again and what do you see? That there is no ghost over there. It was just a post. Right? It was just a post or a pole or a tree which looked like a ghost in the dark. So, was there a ghost? No, there was no ghost. It is mithya. When you're walking on the road and suddenly, these are very simple examples which I think most of the Vedantic students know. When you're walking on the road and you see a rope, but because of your hazy vision, it comes across as a snake. Is the rope a rope or a snake? It is not a snake, it is a rope, but you see it as a snake. And when the vision becomes clear or you get closer, you realize that I was getting scared when I saw a snake, but it was not a snake, it was a rope. So seeing a snake in the rope is mithya. Seeing the ghost in the post is mithya. Assuming that the heat belongs to the potato is mithya. Mithya. Seeing a mirage or oasis where there is none is mithya. Right? Let's take it a step further. When the potter is making pottery, he makes a lot of things, right? Plates, cups, jugs. The plates and cups and jugs and all are nothing but mud or clay. Suppose I was to take away the clay from the pot or the clay from the plate or the clay from the jug. Would anything remain? Nothing. So, the pot, the jug, the cup are mithya. They are actually nothing but clay. But we see them in different forms and we name them. Cup, saucer, jug. For instance, gold again. We see the jewelries, isn't it? The earrings, the bangles, the anklets. If you take away the gold from an anklet, gold anklet, what will happen? There won't be any anklet left anymore, right? In the same way, if you take away the gold from the bangle, gold bangle, will the bangle remain? So what is the reality of all these things? Of course the gold. Baki sab mithya. For instance, the furniture in your house. If it is wood furniture, if you take away the wood from your furniture, what is left? Nothing. Because it is wood after all. So the Sat is that which remains no matter what you take away from it or what you add into it. But the Asat will not remain, it will perish. Just think about this. That is why when we say, right, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat, it's slipping off my mind suddenly, this verse which is so well memorized. It is saying that no matter what you take away from it, add to it, remove from it, you make it half or you make it full, it remains. What is it that remains no matter what? That is Sat. What is Sat? That is Brahm. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Came back, right? So that is Sat, which exists, which does not change no matter what you do. Let's take a very simple example again. Ocean and the waves. We see a lot of waves, some big, some small, right? But is the ocean Sat or the wave Sat? Ocean is Sat because waves do not exist without an ocean, right? If you take away the ocean from the waves, क्या रह जाएगा? कुछ भी नहीं, right? So that which appears to be real but is not is mithya. It is not Sat because Sat you cannot see any which ways. Don't confuse Sat and Asat. Sat, Asat and Mithya. Mithya is one which seems real but is not. Sat तो होता है, असत तो है ही नहीं, right? It is not existent only. And over here, Sat is which is. The difference between Sat and Mithya is Sat is eternal, Mithya is not. Sat is never changing, Mithya changes. Kshan pratishan badalta hai. So from that definition, if we look at everything around us, right? It is Mithya. It is non-real if you want to put it like that. Because everything is changing all the time. Isn't it? It is changing so fast that we can't even catch the change at times. We ourselves, the human body, is never the same. It keeps changing. The cells die, the cells rebuild. It is said that after a duration, we are totally new. So we were not there. Currently also we are changing. Tomorrow also we won't be there. Right? Before birth we were not there. After that we won't be there. Even now we are persistently changing. So what we see now and when we look at it again is not the same. And our indriyas, any sense organ, Gyan Indriya, Karm Indriya, through which we see this world is also Mithya. All the organs that we use to see this world are also Mithya. Right? And what we see through these organs are also Mithya. सब मिथ्या है. अच्छा, तो फिर how is it possible, right? But it is the reality that this verse is saying. This is the simple knowledge that baffles us. Yeah? कि जो हम सही मान के चले हैं, right? Everything around us that we believe is not. And that which we can't see is. That is, everything else is not. But if we take it a level further, which we will later, everything is. And in everything that is. But the way we see things is mithya. For instance, time. Time is also a perception, isn't it? When we are in a very good situation, when we are very happy, time flies by. But when we are having a very difficult situation, where we are in total agony, what happens? Time moves so slowly, it literally crawls like a snail. It's relative, depending on how our mental state is. Anything that is relative is mithya, right? Look at ourselves. Aren't we changing? We are changing from moment to moment, and we don't even realize it, right? Who is watching this change happen? There is something which is unchanging, and that is watching the change happen in this body, in this mind, in this thought. That is Sat. बाकी क्या है? मिथ्या. It is not asat, because asat तो दिखेगा ही नहीं, right? So over here, this is the point that Sri Krishna is trying to bring in front of Arjun. Ki Arjun, you are weeping and crying because you are unable to see the Sat in this mithya. Sat के दर्शन करो, मिथ्या को छोड़ो. And Sat is never changing. Sat will never be destroyed. And that which is mithya, or for instance, if we want to call it Asat also, but Asat does not exist. That which is mithya is always changing, and it is prone to destruction no matter what. So what are you weeping about? And that is what they say. Over here, it is very clearly mentioned. जो पंडित धीर, राम सुखदास जी says, इन श्लोकों में पंडित धीर और तत्वदर्शी पद देने का तात्पर्य है कि जो विवेकी होता है, समझदार होता है, उनको शोक नहीं होता, और अगर शोक होता है तो वे विवेकी नहीं है, समझदार नहीं है. विवेक एंड शोक, समझदारी एंड शोक do not go hand in hand. And over here, he has mentioned Shri Krishna के तत्वदर्शी. What is तत्वदर्शी? तत्वदर्शी मतलब जिसको तत्व का ज्ञान हो. What is तत्व? For instance, when we take a necklace, there is that string, underlined string, that connects all the neck beads together, right? Tattvadarshi is the person who understands that there is one common string which is connecting the beads of various different kinds. In a very simple layman thing, that everything, every equipment in our house works. Why? Because of electricity. That is the underlying thing due to which everything has a function, right? Just imagine if there is no electricity, none of the appliances or the gadgets would work without that underlying thing. So Tattvadarshi is a person who is able to identify that underlying thing. And what is that underlying thing in this sansar? It is Brahm. God. Not Brahm, God. Tattvadarshi. So he is able to see beyond the physical, the gross. There is something beyond all this that is eternal, which never dies. And that is a person who is Tattvadarshi. And the person who is able to know this, will never be sad. How can he be sad? And the person who is sad or who is sorrowful does not know the truth. It is like a catch-22 kind of a situation. To know that there is nothing to know, one has to strive and work. To know that there is nothing to know. And Shri Krishna is trying to tell Arjun this only. कि कुछ तुम जिन चीजों का शोक कर रहे हो वो है ही नहीं, मिथ्या है. You have controlled everything, Arjun, but you have not known the difference between सत and असत. बिकॉज अगर सत एंड असत का भाव होता तो तुम्हारा दृष्टिकोण कुछ और होता. द नोअर ऑफ द सत एंड असत, द नोअर ऑफ सत एंड असत हैज अ डिफरेंट विजन. He looks at the same world in a very different way. He looks at the same world in a very different way. कहते हैं ना, राम तुझसे दूर नहीं तेरा भी कसूर नहीं. राम तुझसे दूर नहीं तेरा भी कसूर नहीं. देखन वाली आँख है जैड़ी ओंदे विच नूर नहीं. राम तुझसे दूर नहीं तेरा भी कसूर नहीं. देखन वाली आँख है जैड़ी ओंदे विच नूर नहीं. दृष्टि नहीं है, तत्व दृष्टि नहीं है. तत्व दृष्टि जिसमें नहीं है वो अंधा है. सब कुछ देखते हुए भी अंधा है. Even though he sees everything, he is blind because he does not see what is to be seen. And this awakening happened to Raja Janak. I think ये जो सत असत का भेद है, सत और मिथ्या का भेद है, this story really helps. Once Raja Janak woke up and he was alarmed. He saw that his kingdom had been captured and he was made to give up everything. His family, his kingdom, his luxuries, his clothes, his jewelry, everything was snatched away from him. Not only this, tattered clothes, and nobody was showing any respect or love towards him. They were shooing him off. And tired and forsaken, he was roaming around from one place to another, trying to figure out what was going on, yet nothing was working in his favor. He was starving, he was hungry, he was getting so hot under the heat of the sun. He wanted shelter, he wanted to sleep, he wanted to eat, he wanted to drink, but there was nothing. He was in a pitiable situation, and finally he reached a place near the temple where food was being offered. So, in his desperate need to eat something, he went and stood in the line. But by the time his turn came, nothing was left. All the food was over. All he could get was a glass of water, but he was very thankful because he was thirsty. His lips had become dry because of the thirst. He was about to drink the water when suddenly a bird came and took away his cup, and he flew away. Not only this, soon the soldiers came and they started hitting him mercilessly. And Raja Janak was shouting and crying in pain. He just wanted some help. He wanted to escape this, but he couldn't. It was hurting him. And then Raja Janak shouted out loudly. And when he shouted out loudly, he woke up. What did he see? He looked around and he saw that he was in his castle, sleeping on his bed. Nothing had changed. The people were fanning him. He looked at himself. There was no injury. His clothes were rich and silky. All his ornaments were on. His mukut was lying right next to him. He got up. His shoes were there. He walked out. There was all peace and quiet in his kingdom. Everybody was bowing down to him with respect, all his soldiers. In the same state, he went into his courtroom. When he went into his courtroom, he sat down. He was now confused, very confused. And he could not utter anything else but this simple thing. He kept on saying, Kya sat? Ye sat ya wo sat? Ye sat ya wo sat? Kya hai sat? Because in his dream, everything seemed so real. The beating, the pain, the thirst, the hunger, the humiliation was real. It was real. And when he woke up, everything that he saw in this waking world was real, the respect, the love, the care, the food, the ornaments, the clothes, the comforts. Everything was real, the peace. But Raja Janak could not shrug this off. He kept asking everybody, Kya sat? Ye sat ya wo sat? This which I'm seeing right now is the reality, or that which I experienced a while back is the reality? Ye sat ya wo sat? Ye sat ya wo sat? He kept asking. People thought he had gone crazy. But he was not crazy. He had just awakened from a deep slumber. He just wanted to know what is सत. हम तो अभी भी सो रहे हैं. हमें तो सत की चिंता ही नहीं है. Right? हम तो मिथ्या को ही सत मान बैठे. So he kept asking. And many people came and tried, and they thought their king had gone crazy, when finally Ashtavakra came and he asked Raja, Kya sat? The Raja said, Ye sat ya wo sat? And you know what Ashtavakra ji said? There is an entire Ashtavakra Gita on this very episode of Sri Janak's dream and waking state. And Ashtavakra ji said, Rajan, na ye sat, na wo sat. Rajan, na ye sat, na wo sat. When you're awake also it is not sat. And when you're sleeping and dreaming also it was not sat. Tu hi sat. Mind it. Na ye sat, na wo sat. Tu hi sat. Tu hi sat. This is very deep. This is very deep. This is a definition of sat. To know what is mithya, to know what is asat, sat ka to bhas hona chahiye na. So what did he say? Na ye sat, na wo sat, Rajan, tu hi sat. Tu hi sat. तो ये सत है क्या? असत है क्या? और ये जो मिथ्या है वो क्या है? So what we are seeing in our dreams is also mithya. Yes, we might say, right? Because once we are sleeping and we have a dream and we have children and we are tending to them and we are worried about their future, but then when we wake up, do we weep in the agony and do we weep missing the children that we had in our dreams? No, we don't, because we say, no, that is not real. That is just a dream. Right? So nobody, if you weep for what you dreamt of and the children and your family in the dream, people are going to call you insane. But the thing is, we are still insane. We are even loonies right now, total lunatics, because not only is the dream not real, that which we see around us, yes, that which we see around us, everybody, which we consider flesh, blood, if you pinch, I'm awake, my children, my house, my family, my husband, my this, my that, my body, my thoughts, my mind, my emotions. Mithya hai. They are as unreal as your dream. Yes, ये ही सत है. यही सत है. What? Let me repeat. This world that you see with your so-called waking vision, the vision that you call an awakened vision, is nothing but a dream. It is as unreal as the dream you have when you sleep. Na ye sat, na wo sat, Rajan, tu hi sat. Tu hi sat. Tu hi sat. Assimilate this. It's essential to assimilate it right now. Keep asking yourself. Keep asking yourself. ना ये सत ना वो सत, तो फिर क्या सत? Over here he says ना सतो विद्यते भावो न भावो विद्यते सतः. The unreal does not exist and the real always is there. But सत है क्या और मिथ्या क्या है? अगर स्वप्न मिथ्या है तो ये संसार भी उतना ही मिथ्या है. And so Krishna is saying to Arjun, why are you crying over a dream? Don't we tell the children, अरे उठो उठो मत रो, it was just a dream, don't cry, don't weep, it is just a dream, it is just a dream. Krishna is telling Arjun, utho, what are you doing? A Tattvadarshi, a Dheer, a Pandit does not cry over such things. Wake up. It is just a dream. It is just a dream. It is just a dream. Think about it. We'll continue with this verse in the next session. Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. जय बोलो हनुमान की. जय बोलो हनुमान की. बोलो बजरंग बली की जय. जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान, जय हनुमान.